All right, let's cut right through the noise. If you're looking to finally crack the code on getting 100,000 followers on Instagram, you are in the exact right place. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're building a massive data-backed master plan to take an account from literal zero to massive growth using the absolute latest 2026 algorithm updates. So, why 100,000, right? Well, crossing that specific 100K threshold is where the game just fundamentally changes. It's not just a vanity metric. This tier commands real social capital. It takes you from a casual account to a recognized brand and unlocks some seriously lucrative influencer economics. Just to put it into perspective for you, top tier accounts sitting in this bracket can easily command 10 grand or more for a single post. Yeah, that's the power of a highly engaged six-figure audience. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap to 100K for today. First, the foundation, niche and branding. Second, the growth engine, Instagram Reels. Then, the four pillars of content. Fourth, mastering engagement and algorithms. And finally, scaling to 100K followers. Let's get into it. Part 1, the foundation, niche and branding. Setting up for day one success. Look, everything literally starts at day one. If your profile isn't optimized to convert a random visitor into a follower the second they land on your page, well, all your future content efforts are kind of wasted. Think about it. A broad niche like health and fitness, you're competing against millions. It's way too generic. But a narrow micro niche, say science-backed workouts for busy parents over 40, that speaks directly to a specific human being. In fact, our 2026 data shows that creators who nail down these hyper-defined micro-niches gain followers 5 times faster in their first year. Why? Because they face way less competition and they're building a dedicated tribe. To actually build this foundation, you've got to use the PBC framework. Honestly, I'd screenshot this and get it done before you even think about posting your next piece of content. Step 1 is positioning, knowing exactly what you make and who it's for. Step 2, branding, making sure your visuals and username instantly communicate that position. And step 3 is category and a clear bio call to action. You have to tell people exactly what they should do next, like, grabbing a free guide. Now, you might be wondering why being this hyper-specific is so absolutely crucial. Well, listen to this direct quote from a Meta AI article about their own recommender system. It says, Instagram's algorithm first assigns a topic to your profile. That is huge. It means if you're posting about a dozen different things, little fitness here, a little travel there, maybe some cooking, the AI literally cannot figure you out. And if the AI doesn't know who you are, it has no clue who to show your content to. That's how people get stuck with zero traction for years. You just have to pick one topic. Moving on to part 2, the growth engine, Instagram Reels, fueling discovery. All right, once your foundation is rock solid, it is time to drive traffic. And in 2026, the algorithm is overwhelmingly obsessed with short-form video. The data is super clear on this. Accounts relying just on static feed posts, they grow at a basic flat baseline rate. But accounts committing to just 2 to 3 reels a week, they are multiplying their growth speed by 4.2 times. And this brilliantly illustrates why. Reels are the only format uniquely designed to push your content directly to non-followers' explore pages. It's pure organic discovery. But here's the catch. You can't just throw up any random video. It's gotta be mechanically perfect. So let's rapid fire the anatomy of a perfect reel. You absolutely have to hook your viewers within the first half second, 0.5 seconds or they're gone. Use high contrast on-screen text right at the start to grab the eye. Definitely add auto captions because 80% of people are watching without sound anyway. To save your sanity and prevent burnout, batch film 8 to 10 videos all at once. And finally, match the format to your niche. E-commerce, do product showcases. A coach, stick to educational talking heads. Which brings us to part 3, the 4 pillars of content, building the perfect mix. So Reels get people in the door, right? But your content mix is what actually keeps them hanging around for months or even years. The crucial point is balancing these 4 pillars so your content feels human, adds real value, and isn't just one long, exhausting sales pitch. You need rapport building, think behind-the-scenes stuff. You need educational content like solid how-to guides. You definitely need inspirational stuff to highlight success stories. And lastly, entertainment, a little humor or a fun challenge. A truly great feed mixes all 4 of these up constantly. And as you're putting this content out there, you've got to measure its success the right way. Engagement rates are all over the map depending on your industry. Check this out. A 1.5% engagement rate might seem kind of bad for an animals and pets account, which usually averages around 2%. But that exact same 1.5%, that's actually incredible for a fashion account, which sits closer to 1.24%. So context is literally everything here. Ground your expectations in the actual data for your specific niche, not just some random average you saw online. All right, part 4, mastering engagement and algorithms, working with the AI. Here's the reality check for 2026. Growth isn't about fighting the AI, it's about working seamlessly with it. Every single action of your takes is a signal to Instagram, but they are absolutely not weighted equally. Now, what's really interesting about this is what's sitting all the way at the bottom. Likes. Likes barely even matter anymore. The algorithm is heavily prioritizing saves and shares. If your video is valuable enough for someone to save for later, or relatable enough to DM to a friend, the AI is going to push your reach to the moon. Watch time is also huge, followed by good comments. Optimize for saves and shares, guys, not likes. And speaking of things that don't really matter anymore, let's talk about hashtags. I absolutely love this quote from one of our source experts talking about new accounts. They said, "I would have zero hashtag strategy. I don't care. I would spend maybe 10 seconds worrying about hashtags." It just totally shatters that old school myth of hashtag stuffing. Honestly, stop spending an hour researching 30 perfect tags. Take that energy and use it to write a much better visual hook instead. Instead of praying to the hashtag gods, modern creators are using automation. This is a real game changer. Here's how it works. Step 1. You put a super specific call to action in your reel, like comment the word guide. Step 2. The viewer comments and that instantly triggers your automation. Step 3. Your system automatically shoots a free resource straight into their DMs. This is brilliant because it turns a passive view into an active, algorithm-boosting conversation, and it's generating leads for your business completely on autopilot. Okay, but what happens when you're doing all of this? Your profile's dialed in, your pillars are set, and then, boom, you hit a wall. You're staring at your screen asking, why am I not growing? So let's pivot for a second from making content to actually troubleshooting what to do when your reach suddenly drops off a cliff. Part 5. Scaling to 100K followers, breaking plateaus. Scaling to that 100K mark is all about breaking through those invisible algorithmic barriers. So let's look at a concrete recovery plan for the ultimate growth killer, the shadow ban. This usually happens totally silently, maybe from acting spammy, using engagement pods, or even just using the same hashtags over and over. If your reach just plummets by 50% overnight, here is your playbook. Step 1. Stop posting for 2 to 3 days. Just let the system reset. Step 2. Audit your page and delete anything problematic or borderline. Step 3. Come back and post only your absolute best stuff with 0 hashtags for a full week. And step 4. Spend 15 minutes a day just leaving genuine comments on similar accounts to build trust back up with the AI. When you zoom out and put all these pieces together, it forms the organic growth funnel. This is the entire master plan in a nutshell. First, discovery, using reels to grab the attention of people who don't know you yet. Then, engagement, creating stuff that makes them want to save, share, and comment. And finally, conversion, using that perfectly optimized profile to turn those eyeballs into a super loyal community. Nailing this 3-step funnel, that is the real secret to scaling to 100K and way beyond. We have covered a ton of ground in this explainer today. You now have the literal, data-backed 2026 roadmap to 100,000 followers right in your hands. You know how the AI thinks, how to build your reels, and how to bulletproof your profile. But I want to leave you with one final, kind of provocative thought before we wrap up. Ask yourself honestly, is your content actually worth following? Because at the end of the day, strategies and hacks only amplify what's already there. Make sure you are putting genuine value out into the world first, and then use this roadmap to get it seen. Apply these steps, watch your community explode, and I will see you in the next explainer.